Why everyone is scared of him?
Because he is a monster.
He has to apologize for being a monster.
You made me a monster. Thank you. I remember the moment I stopped being human. It wasn't a scream or a flash of light. It was quiet, like a candle going out in a room that still smelled of smoke. That's when I realized something in me had snapped, or maybe awakened. They call it breaking. I call it becoming. I didn't wake up one morning and choose darkness. It found me, slow, patient, whispering between the ribs where love used to live. Every betrayal was another hand, pressing me deeper into the fire. Every lie was another brick in the coffin of who I used to be. They thought they were killing me, but they were forging me. And now, I want to say it with a smile that cuts like glass. Thank you. You made me a monster, and I have never felt more alive. I used to beg for understanding. I used to crawl through broken glass just to be seen. But they never looked at me. Not really. They looked through me, like I was a ghost, asking for forgiveness I didn't owe. They called me dramatic when I was drowning, called me cold when I finally froze. So I stopped asking for warmth. I built my own fire, and it burns colder than ice. Now, I walk through the ruins of what they built around me. Every memory still smolders. Every scar glows faintly like molten metal. They say monsters destroy everything they touch. They're right, but only because everything they gave me was already rotten. There was a time I tried to hold on to light. I remember clutching it like a dying flame, protecting it from the wind. But they kept blowing, whispering doubts, spitting venom, disguised as truth. And when the light finally went out, I saw clearly for the first time. I saw them, their smiles stitched from envy, their words dripping with fear. I realized something divine. The devil doesn't tempt you with sin. He tempts you with comfort. They offered comfort like poison, and I drank every drop until I learned to love the taste. They said I changed. They said I was unrecognizable. Good. The version of me they remember died in the crossfire of their own deceit. What stands before them now is not seeking peace. It is peace, sharpened into a blade. I don't have a heart anymore, not the kind that breaks. What beats in my chest now is something else. A furnace, a forge, a storm. It doesn't feel pity. It doesn't ache. It hums. It builds. It turns pain into purpose. When I move, it's not emotion that guides me. It's instinct, precision, vengeance made graceful. They thought monsters roar, but I've learned that true power whispers. It's the calm before the ruin, the silence before everything falls apart. They wanted me weak so they could feel strong. But weakness was a costume I wore while I studied their moves. Now, every scar is a language only I can read. Every wound, a verse in the scripture of my rebirth. And every time they tried to bury me, I grew roots instead. I don't fear the dark anymore. The dark fears me, because I learned to speak its language, to dance with shadows, like they were my kin. They used to haunt me. Now they serve me. I command the very nightmares that once tore me apart. They bow when I enter. They listen when I breathe. I became the thing they warned each other about. And somehow, that makes me smile. They say power corrupts, but they never talk about how weakness decays. I was rotting in silence, pretending to be soft so they'd love me. Now, I wear my edges proudly. They call it cruelty. I call it clarity. I see through their kindness now. I see the tremble behind their laughter, the fear behind their eyes, because they know what they built. and they know. It remembers. Sometimes I still hear the echoes of who I used to be. The voice that begged for forgiveness. The one that cried when they turned away. I listen, but I don't answer. That voice had its chance. It chose mercy. I choose mastery. Now I am the architect of my own chaos. I no longer run from storms. I summon them. I no longer hide from pain. I sculpt it. Each cut, each bruise, each betrayal was a chisel against my soul. They didn't know they were crafting art. They didn't know the masterpiece would stare back one day and whisper, "Thank you." They made me believe that being good meant being quiet, that forgiveness was holy, that softness was strength. They were wrong. Forgiveness is the leash they hand you so you won't bite back. Softness is the open wound they aim for. And holiness? That's just another word for control. I smile. It's the last thing they'll see. I smile now. Not because there's joy left in me. Not because I've found peace. I smile because it's the only thing I have left that they can't predict. It unsettles them. It shakes the ground beneath their feet. They never expect a smile right before the storm. But that's what I've become. A storm dressed in calm. They thought I'd break, that I'd curl up in silence, that I'd become small, that I'd fade. I almost did. I almost drowned in the weight of everything they buried me under. But I didn't. I clawed my way out, bloodied and unrecognizable. And now, I wear this smile like war paint, because I know how the story ends. I watched myself fall apart, piece by piece. Betrayal wasn't just a stab. It was a slow, grinding erosion, a decay of trust, a deliberate poisoning of hope. And I let it happen. I let the lies in. I gave them space inside me. I made excuses for pain and called it growth. I let the devil whisper lullabies and I closed my eyes to sleep in comfort. But comfort is a coffin. When I woke up, I wasn't me anymore. The softness had been burned out of me. The heart, the compassion, the mercy, it all turned to ash. Became cold, sharp, something else entirely. And I didn't mourn the transformation. I welcomed it, because it was either become the monster or keep being the prey. I look in the mirror now and I don't flinch. I stare into my own eyes and I see something untouchable, something forged in fire. This isn't just survival. This is dominance. This is becoming the very thing that keeps the shadows up at night. They don't know what I am now. They don't recognize it, because I don't beg anymore.